Welcome to Same Pod, Different Cast. Each week we talk about a crazy story. I'm Mel Black.
And I'm Marie White. We're a couple of moms who like listening to tales of survival, humor, and mystery, but also be around our kiddos. Parental discretion is advised. This is part 2 of the Megan Stoner story. If you are just now joining us, you are going to be very confused. Please go back and listen to part 1 and then rejoin us for the continuation of the Great Fabricator. And as it was in part 1, we are joined by Sinclair Settle.
Thank you.
We love both of them, 10 out of 10. The first episode and Sinclair.
Oh, I would like to tell you that conning people started off with just lying and escalated to financial gain, but I truly don't think that's the case. It seems like Megan was doing this off and on while keeping up the charade of everything else. So, what were some of the instances of her scamming for money? Megan took out credit cards in her aunt's name and racked up a debt of $20,000 while she was in middle school. I'm not sure if they are on speaking terms now, but I do know that for a long time they went without speaking.
What middle schooler knows to even do that? Like,
what middle schooler, what are they buying?
Right.
It's a great question. I don't know.
And how do you not notice your credit card going up that high to get to $20,000?
Well, the thing is, I think she took out the credit card, so I don't even think her aunt knew that the credit card existed.
Gosh.
Okay, if you're listening to this now, everybody take a second and just check your credit card statements.
Yes, or sign up for Credit Karma if you don't have it.
Pause and come back later. Go do it now.
Wow.
At one point, Megan worked as a teacher. At that time, she posted an Amazon wish list for items that she would need to stock her classroom. Not so weird, but many people found that what she put on the wish list was odd, to say the least. She put explicit books, tennis shoes, and clothing on there that seemed to be her size. But when she was asked about this, she stated the clothes were for a student. I can understand if this is preemptive. I know some teachers who want to have extra clothing in case students need it. The kicker with this one is, 1, she only had one size on there. And 2, I don't know if she would have even had time to build a relationship with the student strong enough for them to reach out for help on something like this, because she stated that she left the school due to bullying from the students after working for 2 days. But she promoted the Amazon wish list for over a year.
Of course.
She hired people to do things like coming to her house to groom her dog, but then would write them a bad check. This one specifically hit me as strange because this is such a luxury service, and I don't know anyone who does this. St. Clair, you have dogs. Do you have people come to your house to groom them?
Absolutely not.
I'm surprised anything has struck you as strange at this point, Marie.
What? It sounds like, what's that movie? Tammy? No, it's not Tammy. It's the same. It's the one where she takes a guy's identity. It's Melissa McCarthy, but it's
Yeah.
oh my goodness, that like the luxury services, all this unnecessary things.
Yes.
It's one thing to meet ends meet. It's one thing if you're struggling, and I could give you some pity there, but for grooming services, come on.
Yeah. It's always like that, isn't it? It's never to get by. Like kind of what you were saying is it's always to live a certain lifestyle.
Yeah. It's not like she's buying like peanut butter and bread.
I'm so sorry. This is like a side story, and I'm so sorry. It probably has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but it was just something that I like watched today. But there was a cop cam video of a woman who went into a Walmart to buy oatmeal and mayonnaise, and uh, accidentally slash intentionally set a fake plant on fire. And so what was supposed to be oats and mayo turned into $7.3 million worth of damage.
Good. Serves her right. I mean,
I need you to send me that cop cam video.
I will definitely do that. Probably has nothing to do with this. You can cut that out, Marie. I just had to get it off my chest.
No, I really am going to get a screenshot of me and Sinclair's face of when you said mayonnaise and oatmeal.
I was like, what the heck? What kind of combination? I'm like, is she using them together? Is it for the cat?
I don't want to know.
Didn't want to know.
Well, back to Megan. In November of 2022, Megan reached out to Bulldog's Moving Company, LLC, which was a newly started small business. She requested a last-minute appointment to pack, move, and unpack her belongings. She was moving from one apartment, which she told the men that she owned, to a tri-level house, which she told the men that she also owned. It was noted that she had a lot of furniture, Tesla tires, and nice things, all of which filled 2 truckloads. All of her bedroom, office, and guest bedroom furniture, of course, needed to go to the 3rd floor. The owner of the moving company, Seth, said that even though it was hell because of the 3 floors, his team had a good time. She was very sweet, and he thought she must be a big deal because she is so young and she had all of these pictures of her with high-profile politicians. And she owned a Tesla, although he didn't see it at the time. He said at the end of the day, Megan handed him a check for $5,000, which was the agreed upon price for moving and the additional fee for urgency.
Why was it so urgent?
Dun, dun, dun.
Is that $5,000 what she was supposed to be paying while she was getting evicted?
Also, why does she have like spare tires for Teslas? Do they have like specialty tires?
That I don't know.
How would you know they're for Teslas? Yeah, that's a good question. Like, how would you know that's maybe you had Tesla rims?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who has just like a spare set of tires for any of their cars.
Except if they're trying to cover a murder.
Seth called her back a few days later because, of course, the check bounced. Megan wrote him a check from a closed account. She stated that the bank closed her account because she had insufficient funds and she was trying to get the money added to that account to pay them. So he asked if she could pay with a card and even said he would waive the card processing fee. Her answer? To ghost him.
Sell one of your tires. Like, I don't understand.
I'd be suing the hell out of her. I really would. We'd be in small claims court in a heartbeat.
Well, you and Seth have things in common, Sinclair, because he did sue her. Megan wouldn't cooperate with the lawyers, and they did end up going to court. I am sure no one is surprised that she didn't even show up to the hearing, and due to this, the judge ruled against her in May of 2023. Megan was supposed to pay the amount for the moving plus attorney's fees. Of course, she didn't. So they attempted to garnish, but she didn't own anything that was going to be worth the money. The only thing they were able to collect was the $50 deposit that she had put down before the move.
Oh my! So that means she's not getting an income check. That means she's not getting anything from the state either. Everything she's getting is under the table if she has any money.
Yep.
Because they'll garnish your wages in a hot second.
Seth said later that he joined a Facebook group purely dedicated to the victims of Megan's schemes and saw that someone had posted a picture of a moving truck at her house. He immediately called the moving company, and they had already moved 1 truck worth of stuff into another storage unit. So the new moving company moved the other truck's worth of stuff into his own storage unit. I think his plan was to hold it hostage until he was paid. I'm not sure what the outcome of that was.
Okay, I've got mad questions right now because here's my thing. She just moved and he saw it on the... Is this even her stuff that she's moving? Is this even her actual house?
Like, no, these are not her houses. These are... You'll come to find that she doesn't own anything except for like her material possessions. Like,
Are these other people's furniture and things that she's?
I think at first she owned that.
Well, okay, so my thought on that is that she just probably collected things because remember she was like in free stuff groups.
Yeah.
So she was maybe collecting things, but also I I don't think legally he's allowed to keep her stuff unless there was in a contract that
Yeah.
he could keep it in lieu of payment. So he would probably unfortunately end up like the first guy, which is just have to take her to court.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think you have to go to small claims. I'm not sure if he could actually legally keep her stuff, but I'm not a lawyer.
I'd be doing the same thing too. I'd be holding stuff hostage until I got my money.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Seth later said that he was thankful that he was just out the money because he saw throughout this Facebook group the devastation that she had put on some people financially and emotionally. He said that if she had written him a bad review with the following she had, it could have been more devastating for him. And I see what he's saying, but for my understanding is it didn't take many people long to figure out that she isn't truthful. So I would hope that if she had wrote something bad about a business, it wouldn't have that big of an impact. You know what I mean?
She'd probably use another name though. Like I feel like
Yeah.
for it to make an impact, it's crazy that she's gotten such a following. They say, bad publicity is still good publicity. Like she's getting her name out there no matter what, and ultimately, it sounds like that's what she wants. So she just wants to be what everybody's thinking about, I guess.
Yeah, to her point, it's more than likely that she had multiple like Google accounts. And don't get me wrong, I mean, and like I love a good negative Google review. You know, I love a good review. So people, if she had left one, people would probably have read it.
That's true. What I'm not sure about was that if this was Seth's moving company, the second one that I mentioned, or if it's another one entirely. But due to not appearing in court, there was a bench warrant put out for Megan's arrest. So keep that in mind.
Good.
So let's talk about the rental fraud. Because I know this was forever ago, but do you remember when I opened?
Yes, yes.
No, it's all blur, but keep going.
In 2021, after Megan's roommate moved out, she was subleasing her portion of their apartment. Megan started renting out her roommate's room as an Airbnb, which was not allowed per her lease agreement.
So I'm sorry. She's not allowed to sublease.
No, so I think her roommate was subleasing her portion of the apartment to
Oh,
cover
okay.
that cost. But Megan, on top of that, was renting out the apartment as an Airbnb, which I think that is completely different. And
Gotcha.
probably like I've never owned an Airbnb, but like all of the contracts you have to set up in order to do that, I'm sure is insane.
Yeah. I misunderstood.
She doesn't own this, so she can't
Right.
rent out something she doesn't own.
Right.
I'm so confused. So Megan moved out. No, Megan's roommate moved out, and she's subleasing her own portion. So no one's living in the unit.
No, like Megan's roommate moved out and she subleased her portion. So Megan's roommate, whose name I think was Abby, like, or at least we'll just call her that. So Abby moves out and then Abby is subleasing her portion of it to cover the cost of the. But on top of that, Megan is renting out her
Her
port.
own.
Yeah, Megan's renting out Abby's room as an Airbnb.
Thank you. Okay.
And as we could tell from previous, we knew she'd get away with that because people were actually staying there.
That same year, Megan then moved on to another subleasing scheme. In an article from Fox News, it states that the first potential tenant signed a lease with a move-in date of December 7th, 2021. The second potential tenant signed a lease with a move-in date of December 1st, 2021. The third person's move-in date was December 15th, 2021, according to the charge documents.
Oh my gosh.
Megan asked that each of them pay first month's rent and a security deposit. The first two paid both, but the third victim only paid the security deposit. Megan racked up about $4,100. Her con left some people without housing or the ability to buy gifts for their kids that Christmas.
Ay, ay.
Yeah.
She has T-shirts.
In May of 2022, Megan ran a scheme on a victim she met in a mental health group on Twitter.
No. I quit. Sorry. That's a low. That's a new low. Sorry. Keep going.
Megan and Edward were friends, and although this was just platonic, he did actually come to Indiana from Canada to visit her. The host of Do Not Waste This Effing podcast considered this con a slow burn, which I think is an apt description because they did know each other for some time before she pulled this. She talked to him about being a political consultant, and he confided in her about his displeasure with his living situation. Once Edward was back in Canada, Megan said that she could help because she was connected. Shortly after, Edward started texting the Indiana governor, Eric Holcomb. Again, just going to leave that there for a second.
No, there's no way. How does she even have his number? Like, I don't. It's just really her. It's her that he's texting.
Yes, 100%. Like, she's catfishing him.
Air quotes, Governor Eric Holcomb.
Eric essentially said he was going to help because a friend of Megan's is a friend of his. Edward was in a situation where he was potentially going to have to move back in with his parents, which he didn't want to have to do. Now, I can't stress this enough. There is a lot of manipulation here. Ed truly believed that Megan was a bigwig, and she rubbed elbows with all of these political pundits. I mean, he was texting the governor, and now he's connected to and texting Mike Pence and Donald Trump Jr. So when Megan told him that Eric will help him out, but he needs to have a down payment, he didn't hesitate. Edward paid her around $5,000 for a place to live. She then would pretend to be a lawyer for the governor, demanding more money, or they would seek legal action. That was when Edward said he was done. Much like with Jeff from episode 1, Megan allegedly used multiple fake numbers to catfish Ed.
Did he do anything? Like, did Ed, I guess I don't even remember. Did Jeff like seek out?
So remember I said this is going to be kind of a repeat thing where Jeff, I don't think, said anything to the police. I think he offered to get her some help, but he didn't actually go to the police with it.
Yeah.
And Ed felt like he didn't have the money to pay for a lawyer because this is now an international crime because remember he's in Canada.
Ooh.
So he vowed to tell everyone about what she did. This is when he found the Megan Awareness Group.
Nice.
I hate that there's an awareness group.
Dude, I want to find it. I hope it's still active so I can see.
It probably is. It's from 2021. No, this is 2023 now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
On April 25th, 2023, Megan was charged with 9 felony charges for corrupt business influence, fraud, and theft for the rental scheme. There were only 3 victims listed in the probable cause affidavit, but there was an estimate of 20 to 30 total victims. Obviously, not all of them were added to the charges because they were scammed at different properties.
Oh my, that's sickening.
Megan quickly went into hiding and was, quote, running from the charges. She started moving from Airbnb to Airbnb nightly and continued to ask people online for money. A lot of the people in the Megan Awareness group were getting fed up with the action not being taken. Do you remember Alyssa that I talked about earlier? She was the one that put the stuff out on her porch and Megan took all of it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I told you she's my spirit animal.
Yes.
She was one of the 1,400 people in the Megan Awareness support group. And she takes action into her own hands. She pretends as if she's a journalist, and in August of 2023, she tells Megan that she will pay her for her story. She builds enough rapport with her that she's able to convince her to come out of the Airbnb that she's renting for the night, while her sidekick, Vero, who is the one that started the Megan Awareness support group, is standing by in the getaway car. She tells Megan that she will pay her $300 because she wants to help her. But in the meantime, they call the police and let them know that they have identified a woman who has a warrant. They sit on a bench, and Alyssa sees that Megan is noticeably antsy. All of a sudden, Megan starts running down the street and the cop pulls her over. Alyssa did it.
Oh,
Yes.
go Alyssa.
Also, Vero sounds like her pit bull crime partner. Like
I
that's
know.
who that sounds like.
I love that she did this though, and I'd love to think that I had the gall to do something similar.
Yes,
If
this sounds
it
so
came to it.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she almost did it.
No.
The plan was foiled a bit because the cops quickly let Megan go, as in that night, because she only had a bench warrant out and it was for a different county. They couldn't hold her. Megan called Alyssa and told her that she was let go, and Alyssa vowed that she would do everything she could to put her behind bars.
Okay.
Yes.
How can you extradite people from state to state, but you can't send them to another county?
Yeah, so there's actually specific warrants, like you have to have a warrant that you are able to extradite. It's still considered extraditing even if you're in different counties. So because this was just a bench warrant, they couldn't extradite from county to county.
So all she has to do is just make sure she doesn't stay in that county. She's got to stay out of that county and she's good.
Yeah, essentially.
Then it should automatically have it be that first level is to be able to extradite. Like,
I know, but because I think it was a small claims court, I think
yeah.
that's why. Again, not a lawyer here.
Can we pass a Megan law that now implements
The Megan law?
Yes, she would like that too much if it was named
You
after
know
her.
what? You're right. You're right. Scratch that.
Quickly afterwards, a warrant was put out for her arrest for the rental fraud, one in which she can be extradited. In comes Amanda and Justin, who had befriended Megan on Facebook back when she was running in political circles. Megan had reached out to Amanda for money back then, and Amanda blocked her very quickly after that. But they know about Megan because of how many people were talking about her online activity. Amanda knew about one thing that Megan loved more than scamming people, and that's yoni massages.
What are yoni massages?
Okay, so we are going to put out a bonus episode to talk about this. I'm going to give a warning now and at the beginning of that mini episode that it's really not suitable to be heard by children. That will come out the same day you're listening to this. All you need to know now, moving forward, is that this is a very specific type of massage.
Okay.
Amanda had a feeling that the way to get Megan out of hiding was for her to get this massage. She knew from Megan's post that there wasn't really anyone around to give this massage. So Justin and Amanda decided to beat Megan at her own game, and they catfished the catfisher.
What?
Meet Xavier St. Clair, the new yoni massage practitioner in Bloomington, Indiana. Amanda had a background in graphic design and she created a fake Instagram account. She bought some followers and then sent Megan a follow request. After weeks, Megan followed back and reached out asking when she could get on his schedule. Justin was the one who was actually messaging her back and forth, and it didn't take long for Megan to start trauma dumping on Justin, pretending to be Xavier.
Oh, wow.
She made up lies like she didn't want to meet in a hotel room because she was trafficked in a hotel room and that would give her PTSD, stuff like that. It took several weeks, but eventually they were able to get her to give up where she was hiding. Justin and Amanda reached out to Alyssa, and she was the one to call the police to tell them of her location.
So did Alyssa reach out to Justin and Amanda and put them up to this, or Justin and Amanda just know about what Alyssa had done and they reached out and were like, hey, we found her, call the law?
Funny story. The three of them didn't know that they were doing this at the same time. This is actually happening at the same time. So Alyssa and Vero were doing their part at the same time that Justin and Amanda were creating the Instagram page. And so they had just created it and paid for the followers. And when it came out on the Facebook group that Megan had been arrested and then let go. So they were like, ah, crap. Like, okay. But they decided, you know what? We're going to move forward with this anyway. We're going to try. So they decide they're going to try to catfish her anyway because she's, free. And that's why I think it took Megan a while to like follow back.
Mm-hmm.
So when they were able to actually get this whole plan into play and they were like able to get her to tell them where she was at, they brought in Alyssa because they were supposed to meet up and Justin actually wasn't even in town for this. So he's like, I can't do it. And so they got a hold of Alyssa and she was like, I'll do it. And so she was the one that was able to call the police to tell them where she was at.
Wow.
In September, the police showed up at the Airbnb she was staying at and arrested her. Apparently, she had only been there for a couple of days and hadn't paid the owner, so he had no problem showing the police to Megan's store.
How does that even happen? Because my understanding is through Airbnb you have to pay prior.
Yeah, I guess there's a feature with Airbnb that you can rent out rooms, specific rooms.
Yeah, you still have to pay prior. How people do get away? Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
On November 22nd, 2023, Megan accepted a plea deal that dismissed all the charges except for 2 theft charges. Megan was sentenced to 730 days in prison, but due to the 204 days of credit for time already served, she only had to spend an additional 102 days in captivity. She was ordered to pay restitution of $2,500 and would spend a year on probation.
That's BS. That's not enough.
That is, yeah.
That's not enough at all. Like, and the 204-day credit crap, especially, that's not even half of the time that she was supposed to spend originally.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong. That's
Oh
wrong.
my goodness. Okay, so was it so low because there was only technically 2 or 3 people? Like, oh my gosh.
Megan was released to a work release program on March 15th, 2024, and she needed to find a job as soon as possible. This didn't stop her from continuing to be as delusional as ever, which leads me to my favorite ex post from her, which is just so ridiculous. Melinda, do you want to read this?
Yes. If someone had told me that having 2 felonies on my record canceled out my master's degree, I would not have gotten my master's. This is beyond ridiculous.
What the hell? Was she planning on doing the 2 felonies? Are you kidding me? What kind of statement is that?
There's just so many things wrong with this because 1, she doesn't have a master's degree.
Oh,
but
Lord.
2, if she had a master's degree, wouldn't you just avoid getting the felony?
Yes. Yes.
Also, felonies don't cancel out master's degrees. That's not a thing.
I was gonna say, it was like they don't like take them back.
Yeah.
She's special. She's wow, precious.
I love that she got 2 likes on that.
I wonder, yeah.
It's probably from one of her other pages.
This was just a month ago.
Yeah.
She's out in the world willy-nilly right now.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, Megan. I hope she hears this.
After a month, Megan didn't have a job. Some of this was due to the fact that her mother did pass away soon after she was released. She was afforded bereavement, but this didn't stop her from very quickly returning to her ways and begging for money online. She even set up a GoFundMe for herself. Many people didn't believe that the money she was requesting for her mother's funeral was legitimate because she had lied about it so many times before.
I don't blame them. Cry wolf.
One of the scams that Megan did was actually really smart. So I know I've talked a lot about everything, but do you remember when I told you that she would post about campaign fundraisers?
Yes.
Well, Megan would reach out for donations of $5 to $10 for random causes. Now, the reason I say this is smart is because people are more likely to donate a small amount of money when asked. I think we all know that this money wasn't going to charity or a political party, but it is believed that she came up with this idea from the short stint of working on that political campaign.
I'll admit, you're right. That is smart because it's less people aren't going to go after $5 to $10, even $20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're less like it's not worth the effort.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Unfortunately, I think we have to admit that she's smart because,
yes,
it's just, misguided. It's not in a direction that's productive, and that's what's so frustrating.
Many people wouldn't miss $1 here or 5 there, but Megan wouldn't just send one request. She would send upwards to 30 times to the same individual consecutively, even if they didn't respond.
Harassment.
Due to her persistence, sometimes someone would take the bait and some people would just block her.
Smart cookies.
Yeah.
The latter.
And I'm really sad to report that she's actually still doing this, but it looks more like online panhandling than outright fraud. So at least she is being somewhat honest. I looked at her Twitter account, and if you want to be depressed, then feel free to go down that rabbit hole, but I'll try to summarize it for you. Besides the random TMI post, there are tons of posts where she gives a guilt trip and then asks for money for food. She utilizes the hashtag mutual aid a lot. And I looked this up and I found this quote. Sinclair, do you want to read this for me?
Sure. Mutual aid is where people in an area or a community come together to support one another, collectively meeting each other's needs without the help of official bodies like the state. It often arises due to neglect of government provision for certain classes of people. She's got to be kidding.
What I found when researching this hashtag are a lot of similar posts of people talking about their hard times, bills they need to pay, or mouths they need to feed. My guess, and this is just a guess, is that she's trying the shock and awe approach, saying something dramatic, and maybe more people will pay attention and take pity.
But she's ruining it for those that are serious, that actually need the help.
An example of this is one of her more recent posts at the time of writing this was about her actually panhandling and her foot being shot. This post was quickly followed up with another post asking for money for a Starbucks order because the hospital won't serve her food for another few hours and she is starving, along with attaching her PayPal. She writes, my favorite part of the post, which is also happy to exchange a photo in the DMs of the gunshot wound after I get breakfast money.
Stop. This is ridiculous. I mean, I want to go follow her just so I can watch. Like, this is like reality TV. Like,
Yeah.
it's just shocking that somebody thinks this way.
I know, but don't follow her because that helps her deceive other people. So you can just look her up on Twitter.
Yeah, I was wondering how much of this was like rage following, you know?
Yeah.
Here are some other examples. This is the TMI one that I was talking about. I woke up with a burning UTI. I'd rather just go crawl in a hole and die. KKK, thanks. Another one is, could I at least get a meal today? My PayPal is this. Hashtag mutual aid.
Like, she's expecting it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Like, first off, if you just got shot in the foot and you're really being picky about the hospital food that she's probably not even paying for the hospital bill, and you want people to get a Starbucks order knowing how expensive Starbucks is today?
Yeah. Also, she didn't get shot in the foot. That didn't happen.
Right? Oh.
And then I have some other examples is good food equals good vibes. If you want to sponsor a meal and keep me thriving, I'll send you a virtual high five or a food pic. Let's make this win-win. Powered by, and it's hashtag powered by generosity. And she has her PayPal, her Venmo, her Cash App, or Zelle. And then she says, grateful for anything. I have not had food all day.
Stop.
Yeah. So what did she spend the money on? This one is a bit hard to answer. I know that she was evicted more than once, so I don't think she was using the money to pay for rent. But there are a couple things that I can pinpoint to exactly. Over the years, Megan had 3 Teslas. She leased 2 of them from a man in Utah who owned a company named Mason Motors. While driving one, she crashed it in that OWI incident and her license was suspended. Quickly after this, a friend of hers contacted Mason Motors and leased another Tesla. It was found out that Megan stole her old roommate's identity to lease that car and stopped paying on it. Megan also stole her father's identity to use the car and drive for Lyft. Mason Motors quickly flew to Indiana to obtain their car. After being taken to court for these 2 incidents, Megan said a more atrocious lie, which was that she needed to delay her payments because her child passed away in a train accident. She was ordered to pay $68,000 to Mason Motors.
Did she ever have a child?
No.
Oh, this is just bad. She's got a mental condition. Like this is really bad. I hope she gets help. Like this is sad.
Yeah.
It goes from being kind of funny to like,
Yeah.
Oh, this is like solidly depressing at this point.
yes.
Yes, agreed.
She would create lies and tell victims that they were paying for one thing, usually something dramatic, but in reality, they were paying for something else. For example, Megan reached out to a friend she met and spent time with in Indiana named Tom. She asked him for help with her bond. Now, this story is not going to put him in the best light, but again, there is a lot of manipulation, and I believe that he's also on the autism spectrum, which Megan knew she could use to her advantage.
Mm-mm.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so brace yourself. She would pretend to be her mother, and he would provide his card information to pay the bail bondsman. Her mother, quote unquote, would say that the card wouldn't go through, so he would take a picture of his card and send it to her. He then would have weird charges being pulled on his card, which he thought was identity theft from like the gas station. So he would just replace his card. Her mother, quote unquote, would contact him again, and the same process would happen over again. He would send a picture of the card. She would say it isn't working, and then weird charges would pull. He replaced his card 4 times, but he truly didn't believe it was her. The whole time this was happening, her mother, quote unquote, would say that Megan was either still in jail or she was in the hospital due to a medical emergency. In reality, she was out on bond using his card information to pay her phone bill, DoorDash, and Cash App charges sent directly to herself. She also ended up taking out another credit card in his name, which severely impacted his credit. All in all, I think Tom ended up giving her around $15,000.
Oh, my gosh. Did he ever get justification for that?
No. The only hint of humanity that I think she had in this incident was she was talking on it was on a phone call from the jail, and she was talking about how she was going to write the credit card company to tell them that she took this card out in his name and that he wasn't aware of it, but she couldn't do it because she didn't have an envelope. And so she never did that.
You know, you can make an envelope with a piece of paper.
Yep.
It's technically origami, but you can figure it out.
In commissary, they have envelopes. Like that was just a stupid excuse, but something that I found really interesting was that when Megan was finally caught, she started reaching out to the people who actively worked to put her away. She would call Alyssa, Justin, and Amanda up to 20 times a day. At first, they were eager to talk to her in hopes that they could get her to admit to more crimes while being recorded, or get her to actually do the right thing by her victims. But she would continue to lie in hopes that they would help bail her out. Alyssa was actually going to do this, but Megan's mother, her actual mother this time, called and told her not to do it. One of the lies that she had told Alyssa was that she had $6,000 sitting in a bank account that she would immediately use to pay back whoever bailed her out. She also said she was going to use this money to pay back Tom, but she then used a lie that we've heard before. She said that her 10-year-old daughter, who was adopted in a closed adoption, passed away in a car accident along with her adopted mother. Megan tried to use the fact that she needed to make funeral arrangements as a reason she needed to be released, but later admitted that it was a lie.
She's creative because I don't know how she's coming up with all of these lies.
But that's the thing is like Justin was on, I listened to a phone call with him and Megan, and he actually somewhat believed her because he's like, this is so outrageous that there's no way that you would lie about this. And what is crazy is that she convinces herself that it's true. Like she doubles down so hard that like she has to convince herself it's true. And then in a follow-up phone call, she admits to Justin that it was a lie.
Yeah, that's
Ultimately, we have no idea how much money she scammed from people or where it all went, but Megan herself said it's probably close to $500,000.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
What we do know is that she hasn't stopped, and she likely won't. She may not reach felony charge level of crime again, but she is still lying to get ahead. Everyone, please be vigilant before giving money to anyone. I only scratched the surface of this story, but there are 2 podcasts that I cannot recommend enough if you want to hear a thorough breakdown of this woman's strange behavior. The first one is Don't Waste This Effing Podcast, which I believe is hosted by Amanda, one of the women responsible for putting Megan away. The second podcast is season 22 of Something Was Wrong with Tiffany Reese. She is an absolutely amazing journalist, and I have been hooked on her podcast since season 1.
Oh yeah, she's phenomenal. Actually, honestly, the whole time you were telling me this, I was like, this sounds like something from Tiffany Reese, and I was right.
I'm not kidding when I say I haven't even scratched the surface of, like, it is insane how she breaks down. I think she has 13 episodes, and it's amazing. Like, she does an amazing job, but the other one is also really good with Amanda. I think she has like 17 episodes to break down all of her actions. So don't quote me on those numbers, but they're very good, both of them. Like I mentioned earlier, we do have a bonus episode, which you can listen to right after this. I wouldn't recommend children being around for it, but as always, parental discretion is advised. Research, writing, and editing by Marie White. Original theme music by Caleb Duggar. A special thanks to Mel Black and Sinclair Settle. You can find all our sources in the show notes and photos on our Instagram, username samepoddifferentcast. Follow, like, and subscribe for future content.